What's up, everybody? This is Jeff Sintel with DogNation.com. Hope everybody is having a thrilling. At least give me two screens, folks. Like I know we got Braves going on. I'm rocking the for the A jersey right now, but at least give me two screens because you know what? Before the Hedges has been around here for like 6 years now, 7 years now, and come rain, come sleet, come Braves playoff baseball, become Braves repeat playoff bid baseball. We're here every Wednesday night on Before the Hedges talking Georgia and Georgia football recruiting. I'm your host, Jeff Sintel. Our show each and every week is brought to you by Kroger. Kroger is your spot, folks, for Halloween. Kroger. When you think of Halloween, don't you think, okay, you probably think of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. You probably think of Kit Kats. Probably think of Almond Joy. You probably think of Milky Way. But also what you think about is Kroger. Kroger has scary good savings for the Halloween season. Save up to 20% right now on Halloween decor, whatever you want to call it, lights, and of course, all your favorite Halloween candy. Visit your local Kroger store or go to Kroger.com Halloween. That, my friends, is our sponsor each and every week on Dog Nations Before the Hedges. We got a few things to talk about. First of all, everybody, welcome in. We're actually on streaming across a couple different formats tonight. You can find our show afterward on the Apple Podcast platform, on Spotify, on SoundCloud. I think we're streaming right now on YouTube. Hello, all YouTube folks. Hello, all our old and faithful Facebook friends. And also, hello to everybody out there on Twitter. Tell you what, it's a different show tonight. We might have ourselves a special guest tonight come in and join the show. That will be fun if that does happen as well. That's one of the reasons why we tried to start a little bit later tonight to maybe accommodate a special guest this week on Before the Hedges. But right now, Before the Hedges, we've got a lot of stuff to kick back. We've got a lot of stuff to recap. First of all, the headline, the kicker of our show is how an already great week for Georgia football recruiting might get even better. Of course, first thing we got to do is we got to talk about how it's already pretty stinking good. And that was a truly offensive week on Monday. And I mean that in the most Todd Monken sense of the word. Truly offensive week with Georgia picking up, number one, I think a gadget, impressive, dynamic playmaker in the 2024 class. That's Sacovie White out of Cass High School in Northwest Georgia in Cartersville. Got a lot of stuff coming on Sacovie White on the pages of DogNation.com over the next couple of days. Really excited about that young man joining the Georgia class. I personally, looking at all the film, talking to all the 2024 guys, he is easily one of the favorite 2024 prospects that I have in mind on my radar for the class of 2024. And that was even before he committed to the University of Georgia. So that offense got a little bit better. But then the long-awaited running back check, that commitment finally came. And folks, let me tell you a little bit about Roderick Robinson that maybe you don't know yet, maybe you not have read yet, maybe you're not even seen on DogNation.com. So he was committed to UCLA. And really, he took an official visit last weekend to Texas A&M. And at that time, they thought Texas A&M was going to be the spot. And I can hear all the Georgia folks rolling in their heads about ATM and Texas A&M and name, image, and likeness because they thought that was the spot. And Georgia was actually third going into the official visit this weekend. Now, Roderick is actually from the South. His dad grew up in Birmingham, played high school football in Birmingham. His mom currently lives in Greenville. They got family in Greer. They got family in the state of Georgia. And, you know, the first day was a good official visit. First day was good for official visit wise. But really what happened afterward was that second day when he saw the people, he saw the program, he saw the facilities. That was when really Georgia turned the corner. And they went from the number 3 school in his recruiting to the number 1 school in his recruiting. By Sunday night, he was ready to call all the other schools and let them know that he wanted to be a dog and thank him for recruiting. His commitment means his recruiting is shut down, and really got a 6'1" guy, 230 pounds, decent hands out of the backfield. I don't think he's Kenny McIntosh yet, but then he's also got 13 yards per carry right now in California high school football. And he's also got himself over 1,700 yards right now and 24 touchdowns in the San Diego metro area. He's from the same high school that sent Terrell Davis to Long Beach State and then to the University of Georgia and then to the NFL Hall of Fame. Same high school that sent Marcus Allen to USC and then to the Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs and then to the NFL Hall of Fame. So there's some pedigree there for this dog. Really smart guy. He wants to study kinesiology. Two commitments there, two offensive commitments for the class. And now you guys want to know how this week could get any better for Georgia football recruiting. Well, I do think that visit from Damon Wilson went very good. That official visit for Georgia went very well. I think it brought them neck and neck with Ohio State there and his recruiting process there at the minimum. But then this weekend for Vanderbilt, if you guys have been on the pages of dognation.com this evening, while you're also watching the Braves game, you know what I'm talking about there. I wrote a story today that published today with Avon Old Farms Connecticut quarterback Ryan Puglisi. And Ryan Puglisi is a 2024 quarterback, just rated as a 3-star, folks, but don't worry about that. He has big offers from Alabama and Georgia. Basically, those two schools, the biggest big boy programs in the land. He calls them the meccas of college football. Those two schools have offered him, and those two schools are recruiting him the hardest. That, to me, folks, does not sound like a 3-star quarterback recruit. He's about 6'3", 205. He's going to run about 4.7, 4.8 in the 40-yard dash. He also plays baseball, but football will be his emphasis in college. We started talking about Ryan Puglisi a couple weeks ago when we were down at MacTharp Stadium in Colquitt County. Kind of just wanted to get that name in your ear about a big visitor coming this month. And also a baseball player, guys. He's going to be a baseball player. He wants to be a baseball player in college, but that's not a deal breaker. If he had to choose one or the other, he would be a quarterback and football player first, plays third, plays shortstop, and also comes in to pitch late and close games. And folks, here's a measure of his arm strength. He can throw it 73 yards in the air. That's his football cannon arm. He can fit it into tight windows, but also on the mound, he can throw that fastball. He can throw that speed ball 93 miles per hour. He's visiting this weekend. He's visiting with his family. His offer from Georgia is his pinned tweet. He's told me in that story that he has a private leader. And this could be a guy. If that visit goes well, just wait and see potentially how good that might be for Georgia as well, because a lot to like about Ryan Puglisi. I wrote about him today at length on dognation.com, what he's like on the field, what he's like off the field. The young man even taught himself how to play piano through YouTube. That's how talented he is. And he's also plays Lean on Me on the piano, also plays a lot of John Mayer songs. So really good start to this week. Could get even better if certain things start coming down the track later this week for Georgia football and Georgia football recruiting. One of the things, guys, I want to let you know, I am actually the guy tomorrow, our weekly Gimme 5 segment on dognation.com. That's where a Dog Nation staff member, Mike Griffith, Brandon Adams, Connor Riley, myself, we take reader questions, fan questions, and we put together a story with a video tease about 5 really big questions going down right now for Georgia football or Georgia football recruiting. If you guys got a question on YouTube, if you guys got a question on Facebook, drop it in the comment section, and there's a good chance probably going to pull 2 or 3 questions for that feature tomorrow from your questions tonight here on Before the Hedges with Dog Nation. Let me see here. Couple things to go through right now. First of all, everybody having a good night? Actually spent some of this afternoon trying to get some Halloween stuff out in our yard. Everybody got their stuff in their yard up already. Everybody got it done. I sadly did not have it done. We just got it started tonight. And hey, I need you to help me out here, guys. I'm sitting here bringing the news, talking about Georgia football recruiting to you. We're doing it on a different format tonight, so I can't read your comments directly on my screen. So you guys, I'm going to jump on YouTube. I'm going to jump on Facebook. I would appreciate some scoring updates as well. You guys got to give me the intel on the Braves game. Jumping on YouTube right now, Kirby's Visors talking about Damon Wilson. Kirby Visor also sharing some news. That's right. A.J. Harris, to me, the highest rated commitment at this time in the Georgia's class. highest rated public commitment. He got bumped back up to a 5-star. Jay Shipes, how are you? Uh, Kirby's Visor. Kirby's Visor's only got a few pieces up this weekend. Let me see. Antoine Simpson, how are you? Let me see. UGA Chris M got a thought here. He says he's really excited about Sacovie White. Chris, you've seen him play 2 times over the last year. He's very explosive, quick, and I think he could be a game changer. Chris M, certainly agree with you. Let me tell you this. Here's a little nugget. Sacovie White plays cornerback and wide receiver for his high school team. He's about 5'9.5". He's about 176 pounds. And there is only one lineman on his high school team, that is stronger than he is. Of course, that guy weighs a lot more than 176 pounds. He owns the fact that he's 5 feet 9 inches. Great story from him earlier this year is they were taking on a team in Kennesaw Mountain in the Corky Kell Classic. And Caden Lee, you guys will remember that name, really talented Terrence Edwards protege, really talented wide receiver, Kennesaw Mountain. He was scorching Cass High School. And after 2 touchdowns, Sacovie White goes to his head coach, Steve Gates. That's the head coach of Cass High, the Colonels. And he's a former dog as well, a former Georgia player as well. But Sacovie goes to his head coach and he says, man, I'm playing cornerback. I'm going to take this guy out of the game. I'm going to shut him down. And I believe I was told the stats there was Caden Lee, after 2 touchdowns in the first half, had 1 catch for, I believe, 8 or 9 yards in the second half. And folks, that's at cornerback. That's the type of football player that Sacovie White is. Just one of many reasons why I think, many reasons why I think you guys are going to sit there and go 3-star, don't care. When it comes to Sacovie White joining the Georgia class. Georgia had been all over him for forever. They prioritized him in the class, even in a family full of Alabama fans. Sacovie came into this past weekend at Georgia with Georgia as his leader, and he felt the need. He felt the reason. He felt it was time for him to go ahead and commit to Georgia. That's what he did. He became, I believe, the 4th member of the 2024 recruiting class in Athens as well. Let me see. Charlie Delta, thank you for that. Let me see. Catching up questions. Yeah, a lot of people talking about AJ Harris as well. Folks, that is going to be one of the alphas in the Georgia's cornerback room, defensive back room as soon as he arrives. And tell you what, that dude is not afraid to come up and tackle somebody. I think he had 15 tackles in a game recently when he was facing a wing team. They had him coming up, maybe lined up as a rover, so to speak, and he really flew up there and found the football. Let me see what's going on Facebook. Let's see if I can catch a couple questions on Facebook as well before we kind of get into the meat and potatoes of our show a little bit. Checking all the comments right here. Tom Lavelle, thank you. Tom Lavelle, I knew somebody on Facebook would do it. I knew my man Todd would do it. Joel Moody as well. Thank you, brothers. Thanks, guys. Giving me a 0-0 middle of the third update on the Braves game. David Riddle has a really good question. He wants to know how. Let me see. Questions are kind of flowing in here a little bit. Any feedback on how Jordan Big Baby Hall's visit went this past weekend? Well, it went great. All of his visits goes great. Georgia is really the only school that he connects with, both the staff and the team. He's been to Georgia about 4 or 5 times. Certainly sounds great for Georgia. The one thing that Jordan Big Baby Hall told me, even way back in March, April, May, is he is going to take as long as he possibly can and stretch out his college recruiting process. That means he won't commit. He won't make his decision until his signing day. On early signing day on December 16th. He said maybe he might make a silent commitment the week of, but he's not going to feel any pressure to do so. He's going to visit Florida LSU this week, I believe, out of Jacksonville, Florida. And then the next week, he's going to take his official visit to Alabama for what is now a really good, really strong game against Mississippi State in Tuscaloosa. Going to try to take an official visit to Georgia. He was thinking about the Tennessee game, and a game that certainly seems supersized right now, but he's probably going to back that thing up to the second weekend in December. The traditional launch point where Georgia tries to get guys that are feeling certain type of way about the dogs to go ahead and go ahead and line up and kind of feel that love for one last time right before they make their decision on Wednesday. I tell you, there's a couple things he said though that were really intriguing. He thought about playing with Jamal Jarrett. He said when he was walking through downtown Athens with Jarrett, he kind of felt like Jamal was his bodyguard. And folks, that's no small feat. Uh, Jordan Big Baby Hall is about 6'4.5", about 305 pounds. And for him to feel like Jamal Jarrett is his bodyguard, that's saying something. And of course, Jamal Jarrett's about 6'5.5", about 350 pounds, very white, very wide type guy in his white Grimsley High School jersey. He's the guy that is really that Jordan Davis mold template type player, that zero tech that's going to soak up a lot of blocks, that's going to let guys like Troy Bowles and Raylan Wilson and CJ Allen become Butkus Award nominees and all SEC players in their own right, kind of like Jordan Davis did for Mr. Catfish and Spaghetti, N'Kobe Dean during their time together in Georgia. Catching a lot of questions. One of the things we got to do is we got to hit those top targets right now before we move on. Top targets right now for the class of 2023. One of the things that we do each and every week, and we've had some traction on our top targets. The top targets this week got a little slimmer, a little smaller. That's because the commitment there happened of Roderick Robinson. I believe he was number 4 on our list last week. But Samuel Mpemba, number 1 still. Samuel Mpemba is going to be at Tennessee this weekend for an official visit. He's told me he's going to be back at Georgia in November for an official visit for the Tennessee game. We've talked about Jordan Big Baby Hall. Damon Wilson. Folks, you hear that Damon Wilson is probably not going to take any more visits. The decision will likely come down to Ohio State or Georgia. And I think Georgia took its best shot with Damon Wilson over the weekend as well. They really showed him the total program at Georgia, academics, everything else like that. Number 4, a guy that did not make the trip that was expected to be there for the game on Saturday against Auburn was Chris Peel. And then you also have Deuce Robinson. I moved him up because I think Georgia's still in a pretty envious, pretty decent spot there with Deuce Robinson. One thing you'll notice is he circulated his senior season, midseason highlights on Twitter this week. I retweeted it out. He's listed as himself as a wide receiver, 6'6", 200 pounds, the nation's number 1 tight end. He's listed as a receiver right now on his huddle page, and he also returned a punt for a touchdown. He returned a punt for a touchdown as well. One of the things to take a look at now is we might actually have got somebody. Maybe this is where we're going to do verbal communication with my producer. I'm going to try and sound like Mr. Rogers here, but Michael, do we have someone knocking at our door for before the Hedges tonight? A guest potentially to join us? Hold on. This is so funny. I'm trying to sound like public broadcasting. And then also, while we're waiting on that to get back together, it's time to take a look at also looking at the other players and prospects we're taking a look at for the 2023 cycle. Got a few more names there to take a look at there. You've got, kind of some of the similar names. I'm listing a lot of running backs here: Jordan Louis, Jalen Johnson, Jamarian Wilcox. But I think Roderick Robinson probably keeps those guys right there where they need to be. I don't think they're kind of top targets right now. I think Georgia is kind of going back after some wide receivers. The other priority prospects you see right there as well. I do think you hear a lot of chatter, you hear a lot of noise about Georgia and Anthony Evans, the Oklahoma commitment, kind of going back and forth again right now, trying to see what matriculates as there. But I'm looking right now, looking live, and it looks like potentially we got a guy getting ready, but we have a special guest about to join us. He's a Braves fan too, it looks like right now. He is a guy, we got Sacovie White. Sacovie, tell me what, my friend, can you flip your phone maybe to the horizontally so we can kind of see you right there. Hopefully you can hear me. But
I can hear you.
right there, guys, Sacovie White. Sacovie, I was talking about you early in our show. What we always do when a guy makes a commitment is we try to get him on before the hedges so the fans can talk to him, so they can hang out a little bit. And tonight we've got 2024. I'm gonna call you a gadget. I'm gonna call you what you basically told me Todd Monken calls you, a toy. We got the newest 2024 commitment, Sacovie White, in the house tonight. Sacovie, you told me you were at church earlier tonight. So did you get the Holy Spirit? Did you get a good day in God's house? And now you're coming on before the hedges as well. How you doing tonight, man?
Always. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, man. Look at that right there. Braves fan? Are you watching the Braves game right now? Is that why you got that lid on? Tell me about that.
Nah, it's just my name.
Uh huh.
They
Hollywood.
call me. Yeah,
So,
just a
Kobe,
little
people
hat.
want to know. People want to know, man. I mean, you told me before the weekend that Georgia was your leader. You were liking Georgia a lot. What made you decide to go ahead and just go for it and make the commitment this weekend in Athens?
Just so I can get on the list, so I can have a spot to, so I won't be too late. Sometimes rosters fill up fast, and I don't want to be one of those kids who has an opportunity to go to a big school and have a chance to play early, and then get that call and say, "Oh, we're full, we're full, we're full." So that just, I know I felt like the time was ready. Talked to my parents about it, and I just made the decision to go ahead and do it.
And tell everybody out there, you committed, I believe, on Saturday. Is that right? Did you commit? Who did you commit to? Did you commit to BMAC? Did you commit to Coach Monken? Um, who did you commit to when you made that move?
I was talking to Kirby Smart. I had a meeting with him.
What did you tell him?
I was like, we were talking about family and how I've been doing, how he's been doing, and what I would look like going to the school. And then I was like, came down here to tell you that I'm committing today. And from then on, it was excitement.
What is Kirby Smart? What's his reaction like when when a player tells him he's going to come play for him? Does he jump up? Does he slap your back? What's
Yeah,
that like?
just a lot of hand smacking, jumping up, excited. Just he's a very like, and he may seem like he's a chill person, but he's really outgoing, happy person, um, positive personality. Um, he just was very excited. He jumping around. I've never seen him like that. I've only seen him on TV really much, but I've never seen him like that about something like event. So that made me feel good.
Do you remember what he said? Is that something you'll remember when he's got you running up and down the practice field when you're a sophomore, junior, senior? Do you remember what he said? What were the words that came out of his mouth after you said you wanted to be a dog?
He was like, "That's great, man." He said, "I can't wait to have you here. You're going to be a game changer for us. We can use you in so many different ways." He was just talking about what ways they can use me on the field and off the field, and me being a player who spreads positivity, and just me being that person just lets me know that I didn't do it for no reason. My parents building me up to be a godly person who follows Christ and person who just tells the truth and honesty. It would get you far.
So, Kobe, I told these guys before you jumped on that I've been talking to you a couple of times so far. And I just said, this guy, there's something about him. I know it's the way you're raised. I know there's a light about you. When I talked to you for the first time, I literally wrote down on my notes. I was like, this guy probably needs to be a dog. He's the type of player that the program wants. People that are great people first, and not only great football players, people that love to play football. So, Kobe, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to make people throw their phones down and basically go, oh my gosh, Jeff, you're kidding. Can you basically tell these good people out there, 5'9", 176, I believe, is that about right? Is that your
Yes,
height
sir.
and weight? Tell these people what your bench press is right now.
I'm at 300 bench press.
300 pounds on the bench.
Yeah.
What's your power clean?
Last thing 260.
260, 260
Yeah.
for your skill guy. What's your squat?
425.
425. I
Yeah,
asked your coach, a former lineman at Georgia, great guy. I mean, he
yeah,
kind of just like you. And I said, Coach, I'm not trying to decleat your offensive lineman or your lineman, but I want to just try and get a measure of how strong Sacovie is. And this is a guy who calls himself Hollywood, but he might as well be Iron Man. I said, Coach, how many of your linemen are stronger than Sacovie? He went, oh my gosh. He started thinking. He said, I think I got one. He said, I think there's one lineman on my team that is stronger than the skill guy that's going
yeah.
to go make touchdowns and make a bunch of yards for Georgia. Where does that come from? Where does that passion and that, because you got to lift a lot of weights to get that strong. Where does that come from?
Just wanting it. You gotta want it. I mean, I've been through a lot in my life, so I take that. I ball that up and use it in football all the time. Like this sport and what I'm doing can get me a better life. You know what I'm saying? So I take pride in a lot of stuff that I'm doing. I have fun with it. And I joke around all the time, but when it's time to get serious and hit the weights and going to workout and going to practice being positive, I have to go do that because I take it as me letting something get in the way of what I'm trying to do to succeed in my goals. So it's just
So,
grind
Kobe,
really.
um, why did it's funny, everybody goes, oh gosh, 3-star folks, do not worry about the 3-star whatsoever.
Yeah.
This guy might be a 3 touchdown guy, that type of guy in a game in Athens. Why do you, I know, but why did Georgia articulate to you that they wanted you and they made you a priority? What did they see in your game that they're like, we have to have you on our offense?
Fearless. I'm a fearless kid. One, I went to the national combine down in Centonia. And those when you go down there, it's supposed to be all the top kids in the country. And my dad and me went down there, and we prayed, and he told me just to go play, just go have fun. And I did that, and turned out I got the offensive MVP award out of everybody. They seen just a fearless kid who works hard, and that's all I wanted them to see, just a kid who really wants it more than I feel like anybody in the country, and I can go against anybody in the country, and I feel like I come out with the win. But they're just seeing that kid who's fearless and who wants it.
Speaking of fearless, Coach Gates told me another good story. I'm going to take you back to the Corky Kell. You're watching Caden Lee, who is a super good receiver.
Yeah,
Um, you're watching him kind of cook up some of your guys, kind of put points on the board, and it's halftime, and you go to your head coach. And remember, he's rated as an athlete. He will be an athlete at Georgia. He will be a kick returner. He would be a jet sweep guy. He will be a whatever you need type guy at Georgia. But you went to your head coach at halftime and told him what?
I want him. Let me get him.
I
What
think he had
started
one
it
catch.
was no, he didn't catch a ball with me. It didn't. He they attempted. I think he had 5 attempts, but he didn't get one. But I have much courage in my safety, Devin Henderson. He was corner. He was guarding him, and the whole game plan was for us just to go out there and play and have fun because we have never done that before. Cash football has never experienced a game like that before, so it was really to go out there and have fun. But I have courage in all my teammates, so I was telling them like, you got to be patient with him because he's a very patient receiver, and we were just talking about it all week. And I was like, if you want to go get him, this is your chance to get put on the map. I mean, I've done what I had to do to get put on the map. And if you really want this, like you say you want it, go do it. So I think he got a little, everybody has that little reality check. So me being a good teammate, I was just saying I'm not gonna let him down and let him put his head down because he didn't do what he was supposed to do. Now I'm gonna go over here and show him what it's like, what Harvard does, being fearless, and just going out there and having fun. You don't have to be so mean to play football. You can have fun. I mean, I joke around all the time. Me being that teammate that Coach Gates tell me to be all the time. Just going out there and having fun. And I wanted him all season. How I play is like if you think that he's better than me, I'm gonna go show you he's not. So that right there just I wanted him all night. Got the chance, and I proved what I had to.
So, Kobe, what do you think is the most important thing that God has blessed you with in order to play the game of football? Like you think of the ways you can win a football game, the tools in your toolbox. What do you think is your most important tool?
Being a leader, being a leader most definitely because I didn't even play football until ninth grade. This is only my second year playing. Like, um, actually, Devin played longer than me. He's the one who told me to come out there just to play. It was my eighth grade year, and he was just like, "You might as well come out here and play. You gonna play basketball?" I was like, "I don't know," because I wasn't like, I ain't gonna lie, I was scared. I seen everybody get hit. I love football. Like my uncle played. Most of my family played. I love watching it, but me playing it was different. So I got out there my eighth grade year. Played a little bit. Didn't really play much, but I was on a team. So really, ninth grade year is when I started. But being a leader, ninth grade year, I got thrown in there with some big boys. Because Coach Gates came to Cass my freshman year, and we really didn't have anybody. So he threw me and Devin out there, and I guess he trusted us and was like, "Y'all gonna be the leaders of our team as y'all get older. So we need y'all to go ahead and build that trust with each other." So he threw us out there. We were starting as freshmen. Um, and just going on from there, me being a leader, he talked to me on and off, just saying like, "You're gonna be a leader. Like I see a lot of you. Like you need to be positive in practice. You need to come to practice. You need to be early. You need to stay late. You need to do all these things that I know that you can do to be the player that you are now, which I am committed to the G."
Sacovie, Coach Gates told me, he said, I don't have daughters. He said, but if I had daughters, Sacovie's the type of young man I would want them to marry. He's the type of young man I would want them to date. He's the type of young man that he hopes that that his family, his daughters, if he had them, that's the type of man that he hopes that they would have brought home. I got. I want to tell you one thing. This is me being a writer, not just a podcaster, streaming guy, video guy, or whatever. So, Kobe, I don't know what you're doing right now, but we couldn't have scripted any better because this is a young man who doesn't want to be in the spotlight, does not like being in the spotlight. He prefers being in the shadows. And what you're seeing visually right now, he'll lean into the spotlight, and when the light is on him, he shines. It's exactly what's happening right now with the visual. I hope you guys can see the description that I'm trying to share. But like you like being right there, but then when you come
Yeah,
in here and everybody gets to see you, you're going to hear something good. You're going to see something good, and you're going to see Sacovie shine. I got two more questions for you, Sacovie. After this, I'm gonna take a couple questions from the audience. They're going to ask you a couple cool things, but you
all
got to
right.
tell these folks you grew up all around Roll Tide, correct? Roll Tide
Yeah,
everywhere,
yes,
everywhere.
sir.
And what did you do? Because I think you had to just keep going to Georgia, keep camping, and keep blistering everybody they had, and you kept having to
Yeah.
putting it down. How did you think you won over Georgia, where they're like, man, we got to have this guy, 5'9", 172, don't care.
Well, it was really, I mean, I didn't have any options. I feel like um, some schools made a mistake not taking that shot on me, and we're going to see in a couple years what they missed out on. So that's really what it was. I mean, I'm pretty sure um, I still would pick Georgia over Alabama just because of the fact that I feel like that's a place for me. Um, but they just, I guess they see 5'9", 170 something, and they just say, well, we don't need them, but they don't know what this 5'9", 170 can do and what kind of person he is. They've never seen that before, but Kirby Smart seen it with his own eyes. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think he knows a championship football player when he sees one, and I believe that's what he sees in you. Coach Gates told me another great story. You guys were going back and forth about your height, and you were worried about, hey, am I tall enough? Blah blah blah. Coach Gates said, "No, man, you're going to be plenty fine. You're going to own the fact that you're 5'9", and you're just going to be the best Sacovie White you can." I think the next day you basically you're in the gym and you just dunk over somebody that
Oh
was trying to
yeah,
stop you. He said I think Sacovie could have touched the top of the backboard. He jumped so high that day. Just the type of kid he is, man. He knows what God blessed him with, and he's going to roll with it. He's going to make it work. Sacovie, I'm going to take a couple questions from the audience because I mean, again, I wanted people to see you and hear from you tonight because Sacovie, I'll be honest, man. Keeping it 100, keeping it a buck. I talk to 50 kids a week, probably. I don't talk to three guys a month that impress me the way you do. And that is keeping it 100 right there as well. I want to know what everybody else out there thinks. You guys are watching on Facebook. You guys are watching on YouTube. I'm going to go to YouTube first. You guys got a question? Um, Dog for Life, he's got a good one here. He says, Dynamite comes in small packages, bro. That's pretty good. And then Christy gave you a shout out. Antoine was talking about a lot of things. UGA Chris M wants to know, Sacovie, what is your favorite food?
It had to be hot wings.
Hot
Yeah,
wings.
hot wings. Yeah.
Let me see. Harry Leggy says Sacovie lets his actions do the talking. Dog for Life wants to know your 40 time. What's your 40 time?
Sub 4.5.
Sub 4.5. There you go. And then UGA Chris M also says, I really like this kid even more now hearing him talk. Let me see. Young man is electric on the field. Lots of people really impressed. Jay Shipe said you give him DeAndre Swift vibes. Let me see. Sacovie, I know you know half the people in the state of Georgia in the 2024 class because you're with Hustle Inc. You know those Cam Newton guys. You know Caden Lee's a Cam Newton guy. Who do you want to work on, man? Who do you think needs to be a dog with you in this 2024 Georgia class? You got a wish list?
Yeah, I got 3. All right, I got KJ Bolden from Buford, Mike Matthews from Parkview, and then Zion Reagans. Those 3.
That would do it. Wouldn't that do it? So Zion, he plays with you on Hustle Inc. as well. He's super fast. Isn't he like a 10.5, 10.3 in the 100 meter?
Yeah, I think he ran a 10.23.
Yeah.
I think that was on his 24/7 account. Yeah, he's really fast. My first time seeing him run, they were like, the coaches were telling me my first time I seen him playing. It was like, he's really, really fast. And I was like, I'm fast. Like I'm fast. He can't be that much faster than me. But that's different level of speed. Like he can click it on fast. He's really, really fast.
Noah Sheldon says he reminds you of Jalen Waddle. You remind him of Jalen Waddle. And I mean, heck, man, I know Georgia likes to recruit, man, but Sacovie, if you can get KJ Bolden and Mike Matthews and Zion Reagan and yourself, I mean, BMAC might push away from the table. He'd be like, man, we good. We got enough. We have enough. That'd be like the third helping of sweet potato pie at Thanksgiving or something like that, or pumpkin pie. Tell me a little bit about, everybody has what was it like when you woke up that next morning and you were officially a dog? What'd that feel like?
Really, it felt the same, because I've always in here. I knew I was going to commit to Georgia, but just the excitement around. My family, not my immediate family, just like cousins, aunties, uncles, just the love that they gave me. The shout outs about the school. Just happy, just really just happy for the community, that they have. They had Trevor Lawrence who went to Clemson, Carswell did, but now Kaz, Bartow County officially has somebody who is going to a big time school. So it made me more happier for the school than myself and the community who they finally can say they have somebody who came out of Bartow County. So it made me happy for the school.
Sacovie, obviously, I think I know the answer here, but what happens if Alabama or Clemson or any other school, they see more film and they're like, hey, can we get back in here? Can we talk to you? Can you come for a visit? What will be your response?
No. Yeah. Like it's I've talked to Clemson, but like it's like you get one chance. Like there's not many chances you can get at this. It's me and my family talk about being consistent, and if you say you're gonna do something, that's what my dad tells me all the time. Two things he tell me is if you're gonna tell somebody something, you gotta be about it. That just goes along with being a man. Then be where your feet are supposed to be. So if I say I'm going to Georgia, there's no decommitting, there's no none of that. We gotta be a man to our word. So yeah. I'm locked in.
Sacovie, where'd you get the nickname Hollywood? Who gave it to you?
My strength and conditioning coach.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, his name is Bobby Hughes. Shout out to him. He gave me the name Hollywood in ninth grade.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Kobe, man, we wanted to keep you for about 15 minutes. I could go a whole show with you because you're awesome to talk to. Great communicator, great person. Guys, I'm telling you, he did just come from church today. He had Wednesday nights. You know, this is South.
Yeah,
You got prayer meeting. I grew up going to church on Wednesday nights. We had all that stuff too as well. So, like, so Kobe, man, thanks for joining us. I mean, man, you can just dip out, leave the chat on, leave the chat. But, man, you made it a great night here on Before the Hedges, man. Certainly really appreciate you making some time to come talk to all these Georgia folks today.
no problem. No problem.
Take it easy, Sacovie. Be well, man.
You too.
God bless you, son. All right, guys, that was Sacovie White. Sacovie White. I told you that guy was going to be a showstopper. Told you that guy was good, and I hope you guys allowed us to deal with that. Is there somebody at the door? Is there somebody at the door? Hope you guys did that because we brought somebody in the middle of a live show just because we knew it was going to be so great and so cool to have Sacovie on, especially just fresh off after he committed to Georgia. A lot of things he said there. Tell you what, though, we got a little bit more of our show to wrap up. Let's do this, Michael. Let's quickly. We put together some tweets for tonight's show. One of the things we wanted to get back into is doing some tweets, so you guys can see some tweets on tonight's show. Let's take a quick look at a few tweets. I only got like 4 or 5 that I wanted you guys wanted to check out and see. First one, let's start with Sacovie. Look at this. Sacovie White made his commitment to Georgia. He tweets out his commitment edit right here. Take a look at this right here. He made his commitment to Georgia, and then you get the edit that comes out of that right there. You see there, Hollywood Sacovie White, guys. I'm gonna tell you, if you don't sit there and say, if you don't leave our show tonight, and you don't think, you know what, that guy is going to be one of my favorite guys in any class in Athens. I think we should have kept him on longer because that guy is different. Sacovie White, take a look right there at his commitment edit right there. You get to see Sacovie White right there as well. Um, Also, we got to see Roderick Robinson, the commitment out of recent commitment, the offensive commitment out of California, San Diego. Had a couple of tweets. Let's look at this one first. This would be his commitment tweet. He says, "I'm shutting it down. My recruiting is over. I am now a Bulldog." He made the decision that Georgia was just the best fit for him. I was told it was very hard for Roderick Robinson to call all the schools that had offered him and that he was seriously considering and contacting on Saturday night, especially UCLA, especially Deshaun Foster, the running back coach for the Bruins that he had committed to. It was very hard for him to do that, but that was a step he had to make, the mature step he had to make as a man before he announced his commitment to Georgia on Monday afternoon. Another tweet to take a look at right here. We've got, let me see. There was another one from Roderick Robinson. He gave a shout out to 2 guys. One of them was David Hill. Look at this picture right here. I don't know if you know David Hill, but that's a guy that was a mentor to Darnell Washington when Darnell Washington was in high school. He's now on the staff at Georgia as a player connections coordinator right there. He is from Las Vegas. He's from the West Coast. That was a good guy that helped link Georgia together with Roderick Robinson. And you see the great Dell McGee there as well. Pretty happy that he's got another running back in the 2023 cycle as well. Really good stuff there with a couple of tweets right there. And I think we had a few more to show you right here. Check out this. This was taken on the floor in the bowl of Sanford Stadium. Look at Peter Sperling's tweet right here. You look there from left to right. I believe you see Samuel Mpemba in the middle. You see Pierce Sperling. Let me see if I can pull it up so I can make sure that you guys see it perfectly. So it goes CJ Allen on the left, from left to right. Man, CJ Allen is a dude. Gabe Harris, that's the ING commitment right there, out of Valdosta, out of Thomas County Central. The guy in the middle in the red shirt, still an undecided prospect. That's 5-star Samuel Mpemba. Then you've got Pierce Sperling there in the shades. It looked like all the dogs on Saturday were in their name, image, and likeness deal for Maui Jim or Costa or Ray-Ban or whatever you want to say, or Oakley. And then the guy on the right in the old school Deion Sanders primetime jersey, that's your 5-star cornerback there. AJ Harris. And you know what? Saving the last for the best. You guys saw this Dog Nation story. I think it broke all across every sphere that covers the University of Georgia this afternoon. Probably some of the best news we can ever put up on Before the Hedges. I think this trumps a 5-star quarterback commit, a 5-star quarterback flip. That's the news that Coach Vince Dooley is out of the hospital, doing well. Just celebrated a birthday at the Chick-fil-A Classic. I believe it was his 90th birthday, I want to say, at the Oregon game. He's going to be back in Athens on Saturday. He is not questionable or doubtful or out. He is definitely going to make the game on Saturday. That's where everything's trending right now. And he is also going to be at that Georgia bookstore signing some books for all the dog faithful, talking to all you good Georgia people on another Saturday game day in Athens between the hedges. Guys, went a little long. You're not going to be mad at me because Sacovie White is that good of a special football player. Everybody's going to watch the Braves. Everybody's going to hope Braves get more hits. For everybody at Dog Nation, and got to say thanks again to Kroger that makes it all possible every Wednesday night. I'm Jeff Sintel. I'm the host of Before the Hedges each and every week. We try to bring you the very latest, the very best, the juice, the sizzle when it comes to all things Georgia football and Georgia football recruiting. You got your top targets. You've got your tweet. You've got a great conversation, a great Dog Nation conversation with 2024 athlete commitment Sacovie White. You guys got to be well fed on all things Georgia football and Georgia recruiting, all brought to you by Kroger. I'm Jeff Sintel. That has been your intel. Everybody be well out there, and we'll see you guys again on the pages of dognation.com. Thank you guys so much for joining us again on a Wednesday night.